Pray the ride isn't too bumpy for you. But I just wanted to finish the explanation I had from the previous video. So, as I was saying, to finish off the nine-dimensional foundation, to complete it, quantum. What is quantum? I'm just going to finish the explanation and that'll be it for this video. Quantum defines as the unit quantity meaning the entirety of a thing or the allotment of something. Quantum, the unit quantity of acetylcholine released at a neuromuscular junction, meaning at the neuromuscular junction, meaning at the physical neuromuscular junction or the physical neuromuscular. Think about that, like strong nuclear force, strong muscle, nuclear force, strong, you see. The strong nuclear force or the strong neural force released at a neuromuscular junction by a single synaptic vesicle. What is a vesicle? A small fluid-filled bladder-like substance. Now, it once again, a unit quantity of acetylcholine released at a neuromuscular junction by a single synaptic vesicle, contributing a discrete small voltage to the measured in-plate potential. Contributing a discrete small voltage, like subtle energy, right? Just like subtle energy. That's what I'm getting at ultimately. It's like subtle negative energy. What would you call subtle negative energy? A force, right? Well, if you want to look at it that way, the literal definition of it is, it says something about mental and moral qualities as well. The definition of force does. So, the unit quantity of acetylcholine released at a neuromuscular junction by a single synaptic vesicle, contributing a discrete small voltage to the measured in-plate potential. It contributes a discrete small voltage to the measured in-plate potential. What do you mean by measured in-plate potential? The measured in-plate, meaning the mediator of this here energy I speak of, the acetylcholine energy or the compound. That's what acetylcholine is, a chemical compound that comes directly from the source, Most High God itself, through what can be labeled and described as a neuromuscular junction and or the ego. I did some more research on ego. I studied some more information on ego, and it turns out the ego, the part of the brain where the ego is the frontal cortex and the rear cortex, or pretty much the entirety of the brain. The ego is also the neuromuscular junction. Everything has different names. One method of operation, cause or nor help mediate the Most High God's energy to and throughout our physical in-plate bodies. The in-plate, end plate. What is a plate? Like a grounds or something, or a destination. You see, the measured in-plate potential, small voltage contributed unto it. The ego. What is this? What is it also defined as? The ego defines as the part of the mind that mediates between the conscious and the unconscious. The unconscious is the in-plate there of. And the consciousness is where the energy comes from. Remember, consciousness, that is non-physical. Your consciousness is your mind in a sense. Your consciousness is your non-physical mind. So, part of the mind that mediates between the conscious and the unconscious and is responsible for reality testing and a sense of personal identity. Sense. Notice the keyword sense in there. The quantum. The quantum measures the source of where senses come from, in other words. Quantum measures the source of senses. And the ego mediates the sensory powers from our Most High God's energy source to our physical vessels. Long story short. You want to know what else also comes from the Most High God? Everything that ever happened in all of our realities, all of them. So a few memories here and there, or should I say a few activities in which was the root reasoning for said activity. You all say things like history repeats itself, right? Well, in reality, we just have one single oppressive force constantly attacking us and constantly sending us in the wrong direction. So history doesn't necessarily repeat itself. It's just that this demon keeps doing the same things to us over and over and over again. It attacks us with the same tactics, and it causes us to use the same things that it imprisoned us with last time in order to keep us in prison in the way it wants us to keep us in prison. And how does it want to keep us in prison? We are all failing at everything and or suffering to death. Watch part 1 of this here 9-dimensional foundation parable. Watch part 1, part 1.5, and now this one, the last part. So what am I ultimately getting at? The quantum ego. The quantum ego is how and or one of the ways we can use to rid the devil's influence out of our mind, heart spaces and reclaim the freedom within and throughout thereof. That makes sense to you. Get the devil's entrenchment out of our heads so that what our heads is can just be what it is. You know, you were born to love. You were born to be love. You were born to be love without disturbance. You were born to be love without disturbance. So if that means you were born to live to walk upon a disposition to do good and peace. You were born to walk on a disposition to do good and peace. I just fixed my car, so my hands are a bit dirty. Don't worry about it. You have a disposition to do good naturally. And in your most natural state of mind, it's in peace. Now, that's all I really wanted to share with you. So for us to beat this devil's entrenchment, long story short, which is the reason why I wanted to tell you about this 9-dimensional foundational parable, the fastest way we can beat the devil's entrenchment and or the curse and or the spell that the devil has over our lives thereof is to tap in and or become aware of and accept and apply what is known as a quantum ego instinct, or what can be known as a quantum ego instinct. You see, that's the long story short that I want. That's the main thing I wanted to tell you there. Because, like, once again, how we, let me tell you the first four. The first 4 dimensions: positive energy 1, negative energy 2, balance energy 3, and quiescent energy 4. And then the 5th thing of the 9-dimensional parable is the oppressive nature itself. The oppressive nature itself, meaning the energies that are outside of our fundamental 4 characters and behaviors. Our fundamental 4 characters and behaviors, the energy that sits outside of it, which is the actual literal government of the current world today, it's the 5th energy in which sits outside of this. It didn't blend in with our fundamental 4 behaviors as those fundamental 4 natures were creating the reality that we have here today. That 5th aspect, that oppressive nature, did not blend in with the fabric of reality, and now it is the leader of the world today by using us against us to quote-unquote lead. But in reality, as I've said in times past, what it honestly chooses to do is take our power and use it as its own. Our power. What is our power? That 4 fundamental forces of nature that I was telling you about. The 4 fundamental forces of nature are our power that this demon, this oppressive nature, wishes to turn against us, meaning it desires to turn all things positive against us. It desires to keep really, really seriously evil, negative things against us. It also desires to imbalance us, and it also desires to leave us stupid, unaware, and walking upon immoral grounds for all the days of our lives. That's what the oppressive nature wants to do, and it's the 5th part of the story. The 6th part of this story is the devil's sword, what the devil uses to oppress us. Because let's never forget, the 5th part of this story, the oppressive nature, cannot do anything without the people at all. It can only do things to and through us, with us. It can only do things to and through us with us. That's it. It can't do anything else without us. This oppressive nature cannot do anything without us. So the moment you all start saying no, and you start tapping in and or becoming aware of what can be labeled and described as the quantum ego instinct, and once you start applying what can be labeled and described as the quantum ego instinct, you will resurrect into the field thereof. And once you resurrect, the 7th part, well, The seventh part is what the sixth part is being used to pin down into the slavery. But if the seventh part taps into, which is us, the white people or the non-melanated people globally, worldwide, or what can be known as the sixth part or the sword in this story that's pinning the seventh part down, having all four of its fundamental natures being turned against the seventh part, all four of the fundamental natures due to the oppressive nature from the fifth part, using the non-melanated from the sixth part, oppressing the seventh people, turning all of their natural aspects against them. You see, but how can we beat this? By tapping into what is known as the quantum ego instinct, and or the eighth part of the story, by becoming aware of who the King of Kings truly is for us all, accepting the King of Kings for who he truly is for us all, resurrecting as the King of Kings in regards to what he truly is for us all, and then the ninth part of the story, the domination, beating the demon that had us pinned down in the first place, the true actual root problem here. Because if you all feel like it's the so-called white people that's honestly the problem, they're not the actual problem. They're just being used to execute the real problem in the fake solutions. The white people are being used to execute the real problems and the fake solutions of the devil. That's what the so-called non-melanated people globally are being used to do. The thing is that it can only work due to their genetic modifications. However, that it doesn't exclude them for being guilty. Doesn't exclude them. Yeah, sure, they're all just following orders and they don't know how to do anything else, nor can they tap into any kind of way to do anything else. But still, it's them that is following the orders of the devil and executing the devil's wishes and desires upon our lives. And what are the devil's wishes and desires? To see us fail at everything. And what does the devil honestly need us to do? Suffer to death. A real problem, fake solution. This is what the devil is. And this is what those who serve the devil by way of being its sword to pin down the melanated people that it targets. But in reality, it's targeting our four fundamental natures through us. Whatever is being used to carry out the devil's wishes is of the devil and is of its nature. You cannot serve two masters. The sword is serving the wrong master right now. But the thing is, the sword cannot help it. The sword cannot even fathom helping it. It's just going to keep on executing all of the devil's desires without question. And the devil itself is the oppressive nature within this parable here. Then the eighth part, awareness of the King of Kings and the reincarnation with the King of Kings. Then the ninth part, or the eighth into the ninth part, resurrection of the King of Kings, which is all of you, my home liberation. Humanity, you are my home. And the only way this is going to work is if my spirit is resurrected, or is if my spirit, or if our spirit can live to and throughout you all in peace. That's how this works. That's how this is going to work. Humanity, you are my home, speaking for the spirit. And I seek home liberation, meaning a disposition to do good without disturbance, or to live with love in peace. To live on love in peace. Do I want to fall in love? I am love. So why would I fall into myself? There's no need for me to fall into myself, nor is there anything necessary that I would gain possibly by falling into myself. I am love, and I'm just trying to be what I am in peace, which is the whole point of this 9-dimensional foundation parable. Because if you all know this, my home, you will begin to liberate thine vessel. Meaning you will begin to liberate the soul's vessel. I have everything I need, by the way, to actually get out here and start talking to people, which is what I'm getting ready to do now. After this quantum ego instinct idea and what it can be for you all, if you grasp what it truly means, or what it could truly mean for us all, this is my ultimate weapon. Those three words, quantum ego instinct, those three main words right there. This is how I can reconnect you to the Most High God immediately. Just by telling you the meaning, giving you awareness of the quantum ego instinct, then telling you or encouraging you and or motivating you to accept the knowledge of it, what it does for you. It mediates the Most High God's energy directly to your body. As one thinketh in his heart, so shall he be. As one thinketh in his heart, so is he. If your ego mediates the quantum characteristics or the energy of the Most High God's characteristics to your brain, and then from the rest of your brain to your body, that means that the characteristics of the true Most High God, peace, love, unity, and advancement are going into your brain. And if you are aware of this type of characteristical energy entering into your brain, it will become your characteristical traits. So that means peace, love, unity, and advancement. Peace, respect, balance, and progression. Calmness, serenity, love, and righteousness. And you stay good, stay beautiful, stay normal, and stay natural. Those ideas there, those will all be your habitual choices of action, or at least you will operate from the grounds of those habitual choices of actions. That's all I needed to tell you there. That completes the 9-dimensional foundation parable. It's all going to go from the fundamental 4 to the oppressive nature to the 2 entities physically being used to execute the devil's desires into our reality. Then the 8th one, where we begin to stop the devil from being able to do what it is. And then the 9th dimensional thinking mind. The resurrection and the resettlement. Resurrection and resettlement. Resurrecting the King of Kings to and throughout humanity by way of the quantum ego instincts knowledge. And also resettlement of God's kingdom worldwide. We, using the King of Kings prowess, make the King of Kings win. Make Earth heaven again. Y'all hear make America great again. What about make Earth heaven again? You want to know how we make Earth heaven again? By allowing the King of Kings to control us all. By allowing Jesus to control us all. By allowing Jesus to move to and through us all so we can subjugate the devil of this world and live in peace as him or as it. The 9-dimensional parable, 9-dimensional foundation. Real quick. What do they connect to? What's the most important piece? The most important piece are the chakras and all of the hierarchy constituents that belong to the chakras. For example, the Earth Star chakra, being chakra number 1 or chakra number 0, is the 2-dimensional thinking mind space. Then the root chakra, being chakra number 1 or chakra number 2, the 3-dimensional thinking mind space. And then you have the 3rd chakra, which is 4 or just 3. I'm going to just keep it at 3 for right now because I counted the Earth Star. Chakra number 3 is the 4-dimensional thinking mind. The first step into the ether or astral, because they're all one. Let's not forget that, because there's some information that labels and describes how the ether stretches and/or extends all the way up to the crown, and it's called the ketheric body. You follow me? Ether and astral, they're all mixed. Everything is mixed into one universal idea or one universal way. John 14:6. You follow what I'm saying? And this quantum ego instinct idea is how I am trying to get the idea and/or message of the way into your minds. And once it gets into your minds, it will cause your character to be it. As one thinketh in his heart, so shall he be. Proverbs 23:7. So, the 4-dimensional thinking mind is the sacral chakra. And that completes the foundational 4 fundamental elements or 4 fundamental forces of human nature. You see, the 4 fundamental forces of human nature. And then you got the 5th part, the oppressive nature, which is the solar plexus mind, and where it resides right now currently. Well, it resides all over within the hierarchy, but to make it make more sense, I'm going to line it up from the using the current of manifestation from the ground to the top. And then the 6th-dimensional thinking mind, the heart chakra, where the so-called oppressive nature is right now currently boring its so-called sword into we. In our hearts. We need to pull the sword out of our hearts, force, sheathe the living sword, refuse with the body thereof, meaning the King of Kings refusing with number 7 on this list, which is us, the melanated people. The King of Kings refuses with us. And then after 7 and 8, remix. We gain the incarnation, the resurrect, the reawakening, then the reincarnation. That'll finish number 8 right there, kinda. But then number 9 is like the mixture of the reincarnation and the resettlement. That makes sense to you. Why do I want to tell you this parable? Because this simple 9-step philosophy is how we bring an end to the spiritual war. Shalom, shalom, shalom. This completes my 9-dimensional foundation story, or my 9-dimensional foundation parable. May you have learned something, and may it can be applied to your day-to-day lives. and may it be able to help us rid the world of the spiritual war post haste. Therefore, peace, love, unity, and advancement to you all, my family.